first thing I did after reincarnating as a pig was to devour 200 pounds of pig feet, making myself the fattest pig in the pen. The other piglets all thought I was crazy. The fatter you get, the easier it is to be processed, and even more likely to be used for breeding. That sounds worse than the alternative, but what they didn't know was that I awakened a devour and evolve system. I just need to eat to keep getting stronger. Even though eating feed is slow, safe enough, I thought I could smoothly reach 1,000 pounds and evolve. But then 2 humans showed up and messed up my plans. A little girl tugged on a man's hand whining. Her teary eyes kept glancing my way. Daddy, don't hurt Snowball, he's been good. But the man's face didn't change at all. The market has already placed the order. Well, sell him right before the holiday. After hearing their conversation, the feed in my mouth suddenly tasted bland. But luckily the holiday was still far off. If I could just evolve before then, I'd find a way out of this farm. So for the next 2 months I ate like crazy. Whether it was cucumbers or pumpkins, I stuffed them all into my mouth. But since I was eating low energy food, my stats weren't improving much. Even though compared to other pigs, I was already a giant. I wasn't nearly strong enough to face humans. Just as I was thinking this, the man came back with a few others. Seeing I'd grown even fatter, he quickly waved to the men behind him. Give me a hand, fellas. After we load my pig, I'll treat you all to a good meal. Even struggling hard, I was dragged out by my tail. Seeing the big truck with its metal cage, my heart sank. A small truck I might have tipped over and escaped, but this kind of truck with a metal cage shattered my hopes completely. But as they loaded me in, I noticed they didn't lock the cage, just used a latch to secure it. This was my final hope for escape, to avoid being seen. I waited till the truck was on the highway and used my tongue to push the latch open. Just as the cage was about to open, I suddenly realized a problem. Cities are full of people everywhere, no good for my evolution. I needed to find a forest or mountains to avoid conflict with humans, and the more remote the place, the better for me to hide and grow. After waiting over half an hour, I finally spotted the perfect place. Stretch of mountain forest, filled with trees as thick as several people. Once I reached that old growth forest, even hundreds of people working together couldn't drag me back. So I licked the latch open with my tongue, then pushed off with my hind legs, and jumped from the speeding truck. I hit the ground and bent the guardrail, then rolled down a steep slope into a river. Luckily my strength and stamina were high, though only my hind leg was hurt. Worried about being seen, I climbed out of the creek without a second to spare, and plunged into the forest ahead. I planned to find a hidden spot to recover, but a dark brown plant under a big tree caught my attention. Its dark brown stem with branches and green leaves was the valuable herb Polygonum multiflorum. Just as I was about to swallow it, a half-meter long centipede shot out from behind the tree. Its long black-red body quickly moved toward me. One bite from that thing, and even an elephant would be in trouble. Luckily I was now over 6 feet long, so I just rolled on the ground once, squashed that big centipede flat. Looking at the mess, a great idea hit me. Centipede this big is a treasure. Eating it should boost my strength a lot. I quickly gulped the giant centipede down. Right then the system's voice rang in my ear. Species domestic pig, current weight 480 pounds. Stamina 6, strength 16, first animal devoured skill unlocked. Devour beam can directly absorb and consume food, greatly increasing devouring capacity. To test the devour beam, I opened my mouth at the Polygonum multiflorum. Next second it flew straight toward me, shrinking as it flew, and I swallowed it in one gulp. Then my hind leg felt a tingly numbness. The injured leg healed completely in 3 seconds. My strength and stamina went up by 2 points, and my weight hit 500 pounds. Feeling the endless power in my body, I couldn't help but feel joy. This forest is my treasure land. After eating near the big tree for 2 days, my weight reached 600 pounds, but now the food around me was less effective, so I decided to try my luck deeper in the forest. When I reached a small river's edge, I opened my mouth at the fish in the water. A steady stream of fish flew into my mouth, and my strength increased substantially. I lay by the river opening my mouth to swallow any fish that came near. But after eating a certain number of fish, my strength stopped growing. Instead, my stamina attribute increased. As I ate more and more fish, my pale body gradually turned reddish-brown, and sharp tusks grew from the sides of my mouth. Then the system's voice sounded again. Species wild boar, current weight 650 pounds. Stamina 30, strength 50. After reverting to a wild boar, my body was almost 10 feet long. Eating ordinary small fish was no longer helpful, so I decided to head deeper into the forest. But I hadn't gone far when a wolf howl sounded not far away. I walked toward the howl and hid in some bushes. A pack of wolves was attacking 2 black bears. Usually a wolf pack can't beat a bear, but this big bear had a cub with it. To protect its kid, it couldn't fight freely. Right then they spotted me. Several wolves charged at me. I bent my hind legs slightly, and with one furious charge sent 3 wolves flying. The alpha wolf howled at its dead companions, then led the pack quickly into the woods. The big bear gave me a long look, then also disappeared into the trees with its cub. I used Devour Beam on the wolf corpses. My weight reached 700 pounds. Stamina and strength rose to 70 and 80. After eating my fill, I slowly continued deeper in, but then a steel trap appeared ahead. This immediately set off alarm bells. Only one kind of person sets traps this deep in an old-growth forest. Poachers. Not far away a tiger roared, but those poachers were after that tiger, since these guys could threaten my safety. But I didn't plan to confront them directly. I decided to find the poachers' base first. Then at night I'd charge in recklessly and take care of them all. When I arrived at the scene, I saw only 5 poachers sitting together. At their feet was a plastic bag. A thick tiger tail stuck out from the opening. It seemed they'd already taken care of the tiger. At night, after leaving one man on watch, the others went into tents. I quietly approached the camp, then charged at the guard on duty. Before the poacher could react, I sent him flying over 20 feet high. The noise woke the other poachers, but they were all sent flying as soon as they left their tents. I looked at the nearby black plastic bag. I opened it with my tusk. A complete Siberian tiger lay before me. Next to it was a brown bear corpse even bigger than me. Seeing this, my heart leapt with joy. If I could devour this brown bear, I'd meet the evolution requirements. Just then a faint sound came from nearby. I looked in the direction of the sound. There was a small plastic bag there. Curious, I went over and flipped it open. I saw 2 skinny little tiger cubs, but I didn't plan to eat them too. They didn't look like much meat. Eating them probably wouldn't give much energy. So I went back to the brown bear and opened my mouth at it. The huge bear corpse shrank before my eyes and finally went into my mouth. The system's prompt sounded in my ear. Host weight increased to 1,000 pounds. Evolution conditions met. Next second I felt my body expanding continuously. A layer of black armor covered my brown fur, and my tusks grew to 20 inches long. After evolving, I called up the system. System, show me my stats. Species black armored boar, weight 1,400 pounds, strength 300, size 300. Skill unlocked, black armor. The black armor covering the body makes it immune to regular physical damage. If I devour that Siberian tiger too, I wonder if my power will rise again. Thinking this, I slowly walked toward the tiger, but the 2 cubs blocked my way. I roared at them, but they didn't back down. They stood guard in front of their mother. Seeing this, I hesitated a bit. These little guys are quite spirited. I could make them my sidekicks. They might help me in the future. So I went to an open spot and dug a big hole with my tusks, and I dragged the tiger's body into it. After finishing this, I went back to the 2 cubs. Cubs were silent for a moment, then obediently followed me. Next, I went into the tents and started searching for supplies I needed. Even though I'm deep in the mountains now, news from outside is still important to me. Only by knowing what humans are up to can I ensure my safety in these mountains. So I still need a cell phone. On wild boar. I even adopted 2 orange cats. Today, using my phone's GPS, I successfully reached the southern part of the forest. I heard there's a giant python here. Looking up, I saw a dark shadow streak across the calm lake. The shadow moved incredibly fast and was a staggering dozen meters long. I immediately realized that shadow was the giant python from the poacher's diary. So I charged straight toward the python. At the same time, the python twisted its body and lunged at me. Seeing this, I raised my tusks and thrust at its belly, piercing through its body in an instant. The python thrashed violently a few times, then slowly lost its life. I walked toward the shore with the python on my tusks, leisurely making my way up. Once I reached the shore, I was just about to devour the python, when from a nearby bush, a white wolf suddenly burst out, nearly 10 feet long. I was instantly delighted. I didn't expect to encounter 2 beasts far larger than normal so soon after arriving. Now I can eat my fill. With that thought, I charged at the white wolf. Before it could react, my tusks sent it flying over 300 feet. It slammed hard into a tree. I glanced at the 2 orange cats, signaling them to drag the wolf's corpse back. The 2 orange cats immediately understood and eagerly trotted off to retrieve it, while I continued devouring the python. After absorbing the python, I could clearly feel my strength and size rapidly increasing. Then I turned to the giant wolf the cats had dragged back. A 10-foot wolf would have been impossible in the past, but here it seemed commonplace. Without hesitation, I swallowed the giant wolf. Waves of heat surged through my body. After devouring 2 massive beasts in succession, my attributes increased dramatically. Even my sense of smell and vision were several times stronger. Over the next few days, I captured countless large animals in the southern region. I also ran into some seriously tough opponents. The toughest was a massive brown bear over 7 meters long. Even going all out, I only managed to pierce its paws. Nearly got killed by 1 swipe. Besides that one, I also ran into a gray wolf reaching 5 meters in length, and a giant python nearly 20 meters long. These animals were all incredibly powerful. If it had been the old me, I wouldn't have stood a chance. But after these past few days of hunting, my weight had reached 5,000 pounds. My strength and size had improved even further, so I decided to go find that bear and get revenge. I followed the bear's scent, and soon arrived at a cave entrance. Then I roared into the cave, and gathered all my strength into my hind legs, planning to pierce it through the moment it came out. Before long, the brown bear emerged from the cave. Though the bear and I were similar in size, when this bear stood up, it looked much more imposing than me. The bear recognized me too, and let out a savage roar at me. Seeing this, I swung my tusks and charged at it. Our 2 massive forms collided directly. The tremendous impact echoed through the forest, though my tusks tore through the brown bear's hide. But the brown bear withstood my assault, so I charged at it again. This time I sent the brown bear flying several meters back, but it immediately got back up, and I was wounded by its claws too. I watched the brown bear charging toward me, and sighed inwardly. This brown bear's defense is insane. At this rate, we'll be fighting all day. Looks like I'll have to activate the black armor. With that thought, I focused my mind, and my entire body was instantly covered in fine black armor. At the same time, my strength surged dramatically. The brown bear across from me sensed my pressure, and a hint of panic flashed in its eyes. Just as it tried to retreat, I flashed forward right in front of it, then drove my tusks into it with full force. After a thunderous impact, The brown bear slammed hard into the stone wall. A 6-foot gash appeared across its chest. It struggled feebly a few times, then slowly lost its breath. The 2 orange cats came to my side. They rubbed against me affectionately, while staring intently at one of the bear's paws. So I severed one of the paws, and tossed it to them. I started devouring the brown bear myself. After devouring the brown bear, my weight reached 11,000 pounds. I let out a satisfied burp, then led the 2 orange cats into the massive cave. Once we reached the deepest part of the cave, I found a warm corner and fell asleep. The next day I was flipping through the poacher's diary. It recorded that along the coastline on the eastern side of the forest lived a large number of tentacled lizards. Not only were they thick-skinned, but they were also massive. Since I'd already killed all the beasts in this area, I decided to try my luck at the coastline. Using my phone's GPS function, I quickly led the orange cats to the vicinity of the coastline. But what surprised me was, on the small island across from the coastline, there was actually a military base. Just then, 2 9-meter-long lizards ran past me, but compared to my stocky build, they looked like 2 skinny dogs. Enemies of this level didn't require me to step in, so I signaled the 2 orange cats to go deal with them, who knew they'd actually tremble in fear.